guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to be talking about how I would raise a son in today's world, more importantly, today's woke world. I've had a lot of you guys ask me over time, how would I raise a kid in today's world? You wanted to know. I've gotten this through emails and messages on Instagram, comments in the videos. How would I go about doing these things? Because I know a lot of guys out there either want to have kids one day or you already have kids. You'd like to hear my take on this whole thing. So what I'm going to go over this, guys, I'm going to go over my top 25 things that I would teach a son based on my life experience up until this point in my life and how to navigate this world right now where pretty much, as you all are well aware, thanks to the feminist movement, they've been trying to mold boys into these overly sensitive, overly emotional, weak, incapable crybabies, right? You see it everywhere. So we don't want that. So I do this channel for many reasons, but one is to help guys come back to that place where we once were a long time ago, reversing the effect of the feminist movement one day at a time. So I'm going to jump right into it and go to my top 25 things I would teach a son or how I'd raise a son to help become a really strong, good man. Number one, no particular order. Number one, I start off by giving the boy a strong masculine name. Nowadays, everybody's giving boys these weird names, these names that could literally go for a girl or a boy. No. Not in the SSM house. He's going to have a strong name like John or William, Bill, Tom or Thomas, Michael, that type of name. Not these names that, a girl could have. We got to start things off right, starting with the right name. Number two, I would start him in martial arts or self-defense classes as soon as possible. A lot of these schools will start kids are 4 or 5 years old. And yes, the kids are just rolling around for half an hour and learning the basic of the basics, but you gotta start somewhere. This is a harsh world, and all boys should learn how to fight early on. The problem is a lot of mommies don't like that. They just want to have them talk it out and everything, but as you guys are well aware, when it comes to boys, unfortunately, sometimes you have to fight. So it's best that the boy learns from an early age. I've been training in martial arts for years, and I don't do it anymore as of now. Things have happened with the school and all, great school, but just things have happened in my own life. I've gotten so busy, but I did for a long enough time that I absolutely, I'm pretty well versed in it, but still I would take him to a school that specialized with little kids, and he can learn. That way then, if anything ever happened later in life, he can defend himself. That's what I want. Number three, I would give him chores as soon as he can walk and communicate. There's going to be no spoiled brats in my house, okay? As soon as the kid can walk and understand and actually lift things up, he's going to help out. If it's literally him just taking a little brush and sweeping up the floor or the bathroom, whatever. There's no spoiled brats in my house, okay? Nobody's getting a free ride, okay? Boys need to learn to obviously work and take care of things as well. They're not just sitting there watching cartoons all day. And obviously as he got older, take out the trash, set the table, do some dishes, stuff like that. Until one day he can have his own job. Number four, I would teach him how to use tools and do basic repairs around the house. A lot of boys these days don't know how to use tools, and it's absolutely crazy. I would teach them from an early age. When I was a kid, I loved using tools and fixing things and taking things apart and all that. I wanted to instill that on my son if, in a parallel universe, I had a son. I would also teach him basic repairs, little things. Kid you not, as much as changing a damn light bulb or just tightening some screws on the cabinets when things got loose. And eventually, as he got older, important things like changing a tire and things like that. Very important. Number five, I'd let him know from an early age that he can always come to me about anything, no matter how bad it is. A lot of kids, they're scared to go to their parents if something goes on. I'd make it abundantly clear, I got your back. Even if you screw up, you can come to me. We'll work it out, okay? We all make mistakes. I'd let him know that. Number six, I'd let him know that he has my permission to defend himself if a bully is pushing him around, either making fun of him to the point that it's so bad that it's completely just wearing him down and it's just killing his esteem, or physically like pushing him around and beating him up and all that. He has my permission to physically defend himself. I don't care where he is. I don't care if he's at school. I don't care if he's at church. I don't care if my mom takes him off to church at Christmas and somebody's physically pushing him around. He has my permission to fight back and kick their ass, okay? Because unfortunately, just in life, if somebody is pushing you around and you take it, that's just going to invite more people to come after you. You got to stand your ground, and sometimes you got to get physical. It sucks, but it's a part of life. And that's where his martial arts or self-defense training will come into play. Number 7, I would teach him to do well in school and let him know the importance of a solid, well-rounded education. You got to educate yourself, guys. Knowledge is power, all right? And a lot of people, I know a lot of things they teach in school you're never going to use again. Okay, once I got out of high school, I never used algebra again. I never used geometry. I never used chemistry, things like that. But still, you got to play the game and do well in school so you can obviously go to a good college if indeed that's what you want. But also a well-rounded education thing on other things. The most important things I've learned in life, guys, I learned on my own, through my self-education, particularly in business, in finance, investing, very common sense, practical things I learned on my own or from other people that have more experience than me. But I would teach them the importance of an education and pursue as much as you can, as long as it's profitable to do so. Number 8, I would teach him to read a lot, and like I said before, knowledge is power. He would see me reading all the time, and again, let's just say in a parallel universe, I actually had a wife, or at the very least, he had a mother. He would see her reading a lot of times, okay? Because I read a lot and I educate myself, and I would encourage him to do so, because the more he knows, not to mention his vocabulary is better, but also the more he's going to be able to do well in this world. Number 9, I would take him on trips and show him the world and how people live. You know, believe me, there'll be time for fun things like Disney World and things like that. That's fine, you know, within reason. Let them know that a lot of Disney stuff's a bunch of nonsense, but it's for fun. They're kids. But also would take them around the world and show them things that I didn't see when I was a kid. I mean, my parents were great, but we did a lot of like stuff here in the United States. We went on cruises and Disney World a lot, and that was awesome. And I'm grateful. I really am. But we didn't travel the world. And I would take my son around to show him things because I got money, and I would show him things, different cultures and all that. And as a side to that, I encouraged him to learn another language early on as well. Number 10, I would teach him that what they show in the movies, television, commercials, and music is almost always BS. And how the writers and artists and the power players, that's how they think the world should be, okay? And that's not how it really is. And because a lot of kids just think that what you see on TV and movies is reality. So absolutely make sure he understands that. Number 11, I would teach him to always respect his elders, such as his teachers, police officers, military, anybody that's obviously older than him and in a position of authority, okay? Always respect them. Nowadays, due to current times, there's disrespect towards police officers. It's absolutely out of your mind. These are the guys that protect you, okay? I have the utmost respect for police officers and everybody else. Now, with regards to teachers at school, if obviously he had a teacher at school that was a total jerk, and they do happen from time to time, I would still teach him to be respectful, but I would want him to tell me if something was going on, that teacher was crossing the line, so to speak. Number 12, I would teach him not to be a bully. That's very important. How many times do parents don't even realize their kid is a bully? I mean, that really sucks. And I make it abundantly clear that if I found out that he was a bully, and there's a difference between joking around and teasing people versus actually really causing them emotional, physical harm. Okay, emotional or physical harm. I found out he was a bully. Believe me, he would know that his ass would be grass. It would be his worst freaking nightmare if I found out that he was a bully. Number 13, I would teach him to ask questions. Always about everything, and listen more than talking. Okay, but don't be annoying about it. You got to question everything, guys. You got to question why things are the way they are. Otherwise, you're just a mindless drone just going about life and just being a part in the big giant machine, okay? I would have him question everything. Not being annoying about it, but wondering why are things the way they are? Why does this go this way? Things like that, okay? But, of course, don't be that kid that's always like, why? You want to slap the shit out of those kids. Number 14, very important, which I talk about all the time, I would teach him all about female nature. All of it. I don't need to elaborate. I could be here for 2 hours talking about that, but you guys have been following me. You know what I mean. Number 15, I would teach him to speak his mind and stand up for himself. But when he speaks his mind, he does it in a respectful manner. He isn't a jerk about it. He isn't obnoxious. There's plenty of people we know that are outspoken, speak their minds, and you want to slap the shit out of them. I don't mean like that, okay? He speaks his mind, he stands up for what he believes in, and he certainly will stand up for himself. Number 16, I would teach him to always listen to me first, not his teachers, etc. Especially with this woke BS that they teach in schools. Okay, I come first. Okay, not his teachers, not his principal. I come first. I want him to be respectful of them, even if he doesn't agree with them. Okay, we're not going to have him being disrespectful. But if he's in school and they're trying a bunch of this nonsense, this feminist woke bullshit to try to, you know where I'm going with this. He tells me and he listens to me first. If I say that's a bunch of nonsense, he listens to me. And I might add, if there's anything ever goes down in school where he doesn't abide by some of that, he knows I'm going to go down there and tear him a new one. I mean, I've done articles, I've done videos about articles of some of this crap they pull in different countries with this whole woke nonsense. You know what I'm talking about there, and how some of the parents are outraged by it. I'd be there. I'd be raising holy hell if they were pulling some of the crap which I occasionally read about happening in other countries, or even some of the schools here today. Number 17. I teach him to be kind and respectful to everyone, but not take crap if someone tries to take advantage of him. My attitude is this: I treat everybody with respect when I see them, okay? I'm friendly, I'm polite, I'm not a jerk, okay? I'm more of an introvert outside this channel, guys, but I do have friends, I do like being around people, but I also like a lot of my time to myself, okay? And a lot of times I don't go out of my way to talk to people. Sometimes I do, depending on my mood, but I'm always polite, I'm always respectful. But if someone is impolite and disrespectful, then it's a different ballgame. Number 18. I teach him all about money and to be smart with it. I would teach him about having a bank account, putting money away, emergency fund, investing, good credit, and credit cards, okay? From an early age, okay? He would do chores around the house, but he would do some things to earn some money, and I would explain he has an account, and he can use that money to buy his toys and stuff. We're talking about really little, buy his toys, and he'll know how much a toy would cost, and what he has in his money in his bank account, and what he can spend and all that. So he'd learn about that, and obviously look at discounts and how to save money. And obviously as he got older, he'd have his own bank account and he'd contribute money there. I would explain the necessity of an emergency fund, because guess what? Shit happens. You need to have money and be prepared for that. I would teach him even at an early age about investing, and I would show him about different funds in the stock market and how you can grow and all that. But obviously he'd have to be a little older than that. And obviously about the credit cards and how it should be a tool simply to use to grow your credit, and having good credit you can use to get a better deal on when you want to buy a house or a car, things like that, how important those things are. A lot of parents do not teach their kids this until they get their own credit cards on their own and completely decimate their credit. You don't want that to happen. Number 19, I would let him know that I love him, and I would tell him regularly. Okay, a lot of dads don't do this, okay? And I'm not going to go around being like a sitcom dad about this, but he's going to know I got his back and I love him. There, I'm not a complete monster, even though some people think I am. Number 20, I would teach him self-reliance and how to depend on himself, and let him know I'm not always going to be there. You got to teach the boys self-reliance, okay? You know you've succeeded as a parent when your kid no longer needs you, and I would teach him that, but in a way that, it doesn't sound harsh, okay? The more self-reliant a boy becomes when he's younger, the better off he's going to be. Nowadays, you got these helicopter moms that pretty much have these man children that can't do anything for themselves, that are even into their 30s and can't do anything for themselves, have their mommy doing it for them. That's not a way to go. Number 21, I would teach him all the elements of human nature, good, bad, and ugly. I will not sugarcoat with him. I'll teach it all about things, how people can lie, deceive, be disloyal, all these things, good, bad, and the ugly. He's got to know about it, okay? The whole sheltering thing is not going to help your kid. You got to be straight with them. Number 22, I would teach him to value good friends and choose very carefully who he chooses to trust and be close to. Guys, in this world, there's very few people you can trust. And at the end of the day, the only person you can truly 100% trust is yourself. However, it's so important. If you can get some really good friends, just a couple, even one, then that's worth everything in gold. It really is. But you got to be selective. You got to, you can't throw all your trust in somebody so quickly, okay? And it's rare. And if you get good friends like that, you have to value them above anything else. Number 23, and this is in no particular order, I jumped around here. Make sure he has a job at 16 years old that he got on his own, not through me, and he always has a job or income from that point forward. When I was 16, boom, my first job at Domino's Pizza. making the pizzas, slicing them up, putting in the box, stuff like that. It was my first job, and even though I didn't want to do it, even though it wasn't a glorious job, it was my first job, and I was appreciative of it. And anytime a pizza was canceled or screwed up, we got to have free pizza. But that kid's going to have a job. He's going to have little jobs growing up for me, but then eventually he gets his own job when he's 16 of age and start making his own money and putting it away and all that. And of course, he has any good business ideas that point to start his own little businesses. I'm behind him 100%, but I'll be blunt with him about it. Number 24. I'll teach him that failure is always on the path to success, and failure can make us better so long as we don't give up. If we learn something from failure, it's a win. Guys, we're always going to make mistakes. It is what it is. But if you can learn from those mistakes, from those failures, then you get something out of it, okay? Nobody has had great success in this world in anything. Sports, music, business hasn't had plenty of failures, but they pick up the pieces and they continue on. They learn from it. That's what you do here. Believe me, I made my mistakes in many, many areas of my life, both personal life, business life, and there were times I gave up when I was younger and I shouldn't have. Okay, I didn't have somebody teach me this. I learned on my own later on in life, okay? Failure is the path to success. You just have to embrace it and learn from it. That's it. And number 25, the last and final lesson I would give to a son in this world is this. Teach him that the sky's the limit on his goals and ambitions and to never give up on something that's truly important to him. Guys, we got one life here, and we are all masters of our own destiny. Things can happen along the way that we have no control of, absolutely. But we make the choice to get off our butts and to make things happen. We can either just sit back and let life happen and pretty much have zero control over our own lives, or we can take action and try to better ourselves and make things better for ourselves. Wherever you guys are right now in your lives, if you're not happy with it, you and you alone have the ability to make it better, okay? You can do it. It's not going to just magically come out of thin air. Nobody else is going to do it for you. Right now, we're in a world where a lot of times most people, they hope that their politician of choice is going to be the one that's going to make their lives better. Guess what? Most politicians don't give a shit, okay? All they want to do is say what they got to do to either get elected or stay elected and keep those people dependent on them and their promises. That's it. Nobody's going to come and fix your life but you. And if you have ambition, you have drive, and you are willing to educate yourself, take calculated risks, work smart, and work hard, you can make your life so much better. Everybody can. Everybody can. But anyhow, guys, that's my top 25 of things I would teach a son. Believe me, there's plenty more little ones there, but those are, in my opinion, the most important ones I could think of when I was writing them all down. So, but anyhow, guys, I know some of you guys have asked me about it, so there you go. So, all right, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.